Okay.
Number 16, Kyle Mark.
Just says match starting soon, so I guess we're going to be ready.
Yeah. No worries.
Number 4, Nick Jordanovich. Number 2, Taylor McDonald. Number 17, James Stochevsky. Number 6, Ben Tossick. Number 14, Harry Callahan. Number 23, Jordan Nikolovsky. Number 9, Thomas James. Number 25, Paul Juash. Substitutions. Number 19, Brendan Lowe. Number 20, Liam Weiler. Number 8, James Markovich. Number 13.
Welcome to Wynn Stadium for round 9 of the New South Wales NPL. Wollongong has been 4 seasons and a day really over the last probably 30 to 45 minutes with some thunderstorms and heavy rain. The rain has subsided for the time being. The floodlights are on and we're ready for what should be a cracking round 9 fixture of the New South Wales NPL. The first place Wollongong Wolves, 5 wins and 3 draws, still undefeated in the league and come off an absolute shellacking of Coaldale in the FA Cup midweek, winning by 11 goals to nil, with substitute Stefan Domovsky scoring 5 goals. Blacktown City, they've struggled for goals this season and will be looking to try and get themselves amongst the goals this afternoon. They beat Terrigal 3-2 in the FA Cup last week and we're hoping those 3 goals, although against a substandard opposition, will give them confidence going forward to potentially get a big 3 points. They're currently 8th in the ladder, Blacktown City, 3 wins, 2 draws and 3 defeats, and we'll know that a victory today could see them rocket up the ladder and push potentially into the top 4 or top 5 if results go their way.
To mark the passing of Colin Hickey. Colin was a talented young man and a goalkeeper with the Walt Kembler Football Club. Our club extends its deepest and sincerest sympathy to Colin's family and friends. May he rest in peace.
So a minute's silence there. And we'll go through the 2 starting lineups for both these 2 teams. The Wollongong Wolves, Justin Passfield on goal, Nick Littler, Bull Uach, Taylor McDonald, Ben Tossi, James Dovjevski, Guy Knight, Nikola Georgievich, who scored that fantastic goal last week that was seen the world over, Harry Callahan, Thomas James and Jordan Nikolovsky, with Stefan Domovsky, Luke Arias, Brendan Lowe, James Markovich and Liam Will on the bench for the Wolves. The Blacktown City side in goals is Tristan Pendergrast. The rest of the side lines up like this: Grant Lynch in 5, Dan Collins in 3, Matt Lewis, William Much, Mason Versey, Daniel Bragg, Adam Berry, Lachlan Campbell, Daniel Arugio and Joey Gibbs on the bench. Dakota Askew in 17, Devante Clott in 7, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Leroy Jennings and Dylan Niski, and they're coached by Mark Crittenden. Luke Wilshire, the head coach of the Wollongong Wolves. So it should be a fascinating contest, this one. Still pretty cool conditions down here in Wollongong as well. It's dropped to about 13 or 14 degrees a couple of hours ago with some rain, but we can see a rainbow in the distance at the beach next to us here at Wynn Stadium, and hopefully the rain and the hectic conditions that we saw about an hour and a half ago stay at bay until after the completion of this fixture. As I mentioned at the top of the program, Wollongong 5 wins and 3 draws, undefeated in 8. They drew 2-2 at Sutherland last week, and will probably deserved a little bit more than what they got in that fixture, but we'll be hoping to bounce back with maximum points. They've been very, very impressive at home, and Luke Wilshire has got a very well-drilled outfit, I must say, that have been doing some wonderful things in this competition. Pushing forward now are the Wolves with Nick Litley. Goes back to Passfield, the veteran 33-year-old shot stopper who's spent time in the A-League, and obviously that experience invaluable for the Wolves as we see them throw bodies forward here, but well defended there by Adam Berry as he thumps this one over the touchline, and Wollongong will get us back underway via a throw-in. Floodlights haven't taken full effect yet. There's still a little bit of blue sky surrounding Wynn Stadium. But you think, particularly in the second half, the players and the fans will be glad that those two light towers on the far side of broadcast position are on. Down this left flank is weaving little run there by Nikolovsky, but knocked into touch by Blacktown. Guy Knight looking for some options. The Bulli midfielder, along with Harry Callahan, after winning the title with Bulli at this very ground last season, has very happy memories, having hit the winning goal in extra time that lifted up the Illawarra Premier League for the Bulli side, and his good form and his great performance in that match obviously opened the eyes of Luke Wilshire, the head coach, that had been watching the pair quite closely throughout the season. Never a bad thing to score a grand final winning goal in front of a Western Sydney Wanderers, but a former Sydney FC player and coach. As we see Wollongong go forward here, it goes back to Thomas James, the joint leading goal scorer with 10 goals, but it's managed to be cleared by Blacktown and taken forward here by Joey Gibbs. And Gibbs dancing around and the ball goes back, and Blacktown just trying to ease some pressure, but nice high press here from Wollongong, and it forces a mistake as Matt Lewis can't reel that pass in, and Wollongong are able to reset. So 2 minutes gone here in round 9 of the NPL New South Wales men's competition between the Wollongong Wolves and the Blacktown City FC side. No score. To say, even though it is just early stages here, most of the possession and territory has been dominated Wollongong, which is what you would expect in a first 8th matchup. Bit of pressure on the back line here as Wollongong do well to clear, as Joey Gibbs showed a fair bit of resolution there to try and press that back four of Wollongong. Mark Crittenden will obviously want a strong defensive display from his side, but particularly we want to see them find the back of the net a little more frequently than they have. They've got the equal worst attacking record in the New South Wales NPL, with 7 goals tied with the Sutherland Sharks. The Sharks are rooted to the bottom of the ladder, so it's not a record that you really want to be having as we inch towards the halfway mark of the season. Captain Lewis looking to get us back underway with a throw-in. Goes back to the 23 for Blacktown in Daniel Bragg. Goes back to Lewis here on this left flank, trying to find some openings in this Wollongong back four. Arugio goes back to the centre to Bragg, and Bragg goes further wide to Adam Berry in the centre of midfield. I guess the good signs for Blacktown City were midweek when they came from 2-1 down on the road up on the Central Coast against Terrigal and won by 3-2. Obviously not a A-League or NPL calibre opposition, but to get 3 goals would have been a confidence boost for them. There's a nice through ball there looking for Lewis, but it was comfortably guided over the byline there by Justin Passfield, and Wollongong will get a goal kick. Plenty of other NPL New South Wales fixtures to follow these as well, so make sure you stick to Facebook or YouTube, whatever your desired application is. There's going to be plenty of good matches to finish off the weekend. And we'll go through some of those scores and some of those matches that are coming up later in the broadcast, as this ball can't be reeled in by the Wolves and will be a goal kick to Blacktown City. Bulluach doing a good job up front, hustling the Blacktown City defenders, and you can see him there once more. The ball goes forward to Gibbs. Littler's in there strong, the former Sutherland Shark defender, and gets the ball freely, and now they try and break down this right-hand edge through Ben Tossi. Tossi goes further wide to Thomas James. James whips this ball in, which does well to be cleared by Blacktown City, who looked under a little bit of pressure and probably looked a little bit uncomfortable at the back for the first time this afternoon, but did well to clear that into touch, and they can breathe the collective sigh of relief for the next little period. Taylor McDonald with the throw in. It's a nice one. Uach gets up for it, can't get it. Falls all the way back now to Harry Callahan, who goes back to his teammate in Guy Knight. But Blacktown City again able to clear rather comfortably. They seem pretty content to thump that ball forward whenever possible. Passfield restarts and goes to Littler. Towering centre back, the Wollongong native. Spent a long time at the Sutherland Sharks. They give up possession here, though, as Gibbs gets it. Arugio goes forward, looking for the run there of Bragg. Can't do it. And Litley goes thundering across to the left side of midfield, or of defence there, as Dejevski moves the ball forward for the Wolves. Yeah, but Littler, a long-time servant and captain of the Sutherland Sharks, but very, very happy to come home down to the South Coast and rejoin the Wollongong Wolves outfit. And what a time it has been to rejoin the club, or join the club with them undefeated, as we see a nice little move here by the Wolves as they boot themselves into the area. It was Jordan Nikolovsky there, who appeared initially to be tripped up. At least that was the view of the Wollongong home fans, but it was not ruled on by the referee. As Bragg goes back there to Matt Lewis. Lewis tries to clear, but it's a hurried one, and it goes straight to the Wolves now, as again they try and launch an attack, as through ball they're looking for the run of Stivchevsky, but he can't get onto it. Last pass is probably not sticking for the Wolves at the moment, as Tossie wins well and goes to McDonald, and Tossie gets the ball back just inside Blacktown's half, but he opts to go back to Littler. 7-minute score, no score in this round 9 NPL New South Wales fixture. Very valuable 3 points on both ends of the ledger. When you think of Wollongong had a 4-point buffer heading into this weekend, that's been trimmed to 1 after Apia won last night. So the last thing that the Wolves want to do is lose or drop points if they were to have a draw. Surging run forward here by Wollongong, as Blacktown are able to just dispossess at the last moment. And for Blacktown City, it's a bit of a logjam in that mid-table mediocrity position at the moment. They've won 3, drawn 2 and lost 3, and by no means have been bad this season. They've really defensively been a very, very tight unit, and that's probably given them an opportunity to eke out some results. A couple of weeks ago they managed to fend off Sutherland at home 1-0, and what was a typically strong defensive performance there by Blacktown City and Mark Crittenden's men. UH goes up for that, can't get it. It dribbles back into midfield. Tossie looks to try and win it back, but Blacktown do well to survive. And Arugio with a thumping ball forward, looking for the run of Joey Gibbs. It might just tease him all the way to the line, and it does. And it'll be a throw in here for the Wollongong Wolves. Nice little contingent of fans that have made the trip down the South Coast, or maybe just the trip across the suburbs by some of the Wollongong Wolves fans, as UH wins a free kick. But it was initially the foul that was on Thomas James that the referee was more concerned about, and James just in a little bit of discomfort now, and some medical attention is going to be run out to him. Or no, maybe not even that, maybe not even a drink bottle for poor Thomas James at the moment, as he lies prone on the Wynn Stadium turf. Hopefully just a bit of a clanger onto the leg there, and nothing more serious than that. The last thing Wollongong want would be any harm to come to their talented striker. 10 goals tied with Chris Payne as the best in the NPL New South Wales. And just a bit of a tension on that lower leg, so maybe just a stud into the shin there, which is, as you'll ask any football player in Australia and the world, a very painful injury at the best of times. Magic spray comes out, and hopefully we see Thomas James up to his feet fairly soon. Luke Wilshire looks on, pensive as always, and no doubt happy to see the striker get to his feet and slowly walk his way towards the touchline before no doubt being thrown back into the fray. But a free kick just inside Blacktown territory here for the Wolves. And it's thumped forward there by Stajewski. Going up for it, and well taken in the end was Prendergast, and made sure nothing else happened there for against Blacktown City. They surged themselves down this right side of midfield to stop to knock the ball around and try and keep hold of possession. Bragg under a bit of pressure there. Lewis goes back to Bragg. There's a bit of room in midfield to run here. He goes for the cross to the right edge, and looking there for his teammate in William Much, former Sydney FC youth player, making some nice angled runs down that right side of midfield. The wing back Lewis looking forward for this. He gets it. There was some calls for offside initially. The ball crossed in, but it's far too deep for everyone, and even balloons over the head there of Berry, who can't get onto the end of it, and it will go out for a goal kick. So Wollongong survived, but promising signs there by Blacktown City, particularly on the break. Thump forward there by Passford over halfway. McDonald gets a flick on, looking for the run of Vuach, and although it doesn't fall that way, it is knocked into touch by Grant Lynch. Tossie has been ever present for the Wolves so far this afternoon, being involved in a lot, playing on that central midfield role, but drifting out to the right, adding support to Taylor McDonald, the right wing back for the Wollongong Wolves. Here's the aforementioned Tossie once more, surging forward, a nice ball, looking for the run of Vuach, who's hustling down there, gets a foot on the end of it. It goes into touch, but did deflect off a Blacktown City player. Throw in for the Wolves. McDonald with a throw, and it's a good one deep into the 18-yard area of Blacktown City. Now is Stajewski. He can't get on the end of it, and Blacktown City are able to break for the time being. Much down that right side, and he tries to find some room, and he goes to Mason Versey, and Versey now makes a weaving run back into midfield. Goes further wide, and now looking for the run of Gibbs, and Gibbs did well to try and initially get around the work there of Nikola Djordjevic, who shepherded him off the ball, and Wollongong survive once more. 12.5 minute score, no clear-cut chances, it must be said, in these early exchanges. Both sides just filling each other out now. Vuach, after a nice little step over, gets an opportunity into the area, but ball is just a little bit too wide for the on-rushing work there of Harry Callahan. And again, Blacktown City able to break through Much down this right side. Much goes back to the centre to Versey, but Versey is up against two Wolves players there and had to really struggle, and he still lost the ball. The ball now looking for Vuach, who controls it beautifully, but it dribbles just into the hands there of Prendergast, and that probably was the first real opportunity of the game. But the work there of Bull Vuach, the number 25 for the Wolves, has been very, very impressive in these first 15 or so minutes. Nearly had a chance there to put the Wolves one goal to the good. Thrown by Wollongong. Thrown up for Vuach once more. Has a little bit of room, but it's closed because 4 Blacktown City players converge on him. That's how dangerous he's been early stages here this afternoon. Much on the right side now. Pushes it back in the middle there to Joey Gibbs, but the pass is wayward, and Tossie now wins the ball, and now he's over on the left side of midfield. Not exactly sprinting, but controlling the ball at his feet easily as he fires this pass to Tchaikovsky. Centre of midfield. Thomas James goes to McDonald. McDonald seizes up the opportunity and swings it in. It's controlled pretty well initially there by Callahan. Might get the ball back, he won't. Blacktown, almost like a pinball machine, as a swirling shot there from Thomas James. Didn't get everything behind it. More just kind of lollied to Prendergast there, who was probably fortunate that he didn't get 100% of that. Wollongong starting to turn the screws now and really starting to put Blacktown under pressure, who are giving the ball away at will, it seems. Looking really pressured and quite nervous on the ball as Wollongong just decide to settle it down and knock it back to their veteran shot stopper, Justin Passfield. Tossie. Back to Littler. I wouldn't say Blacktown are sitting overly deep, but do have at most times 4 or 5 deep inside their own half, and James should really get a free kick there. Hands were all over him. Lucky to get away with that was Grant Lynch, but Blacktown win possession back, but only momentarily, as again good control by the Wolves. Sees Nikolovsky with the ball out wide on this right side to James, and Thomas James tries to take on the defence, knocks it back into the centre. Guy Knight with a shot. Was ambitious to say the least, but he does manage to win the ball back after the initial block of Blacktown, and he'll just usher it out for a throw in. As the ball on the edge of the area, Callahan has it once more, tries to get the ball to a teammate, can't do so, and eventually it rocks back. A lashing shot is deflected away by Blacktown City, only as far as Tossi, who gives it to Nikolevsky. Back to Tossi. Nikolovsky once more, now going into the area. He can't seem to get a hand on him at the moment. Nikolovsky goes out wide now to Knight on the edge of the area. Knight pulls it back inside again, lashes a shot. Pilfer handball from Wollongong, falls on deaf ears, and Blacktown City are able to work the ball up the field. But this has been a frantic last 5 or so minutes as much goes down this right side. Good defensive play there by James Dovjevski. Wins the throw-in for his side as well. Looking for options, but decides to just slow play down a little bit. Not try and overly rush things, this Wollongong side. Nikolovsky tries to get on the ball, win inside a free kick, probably about 30 yards from goal. So great attacking position here for Wollongong to potentially open their account for this afternoon. 16.5 minutes gone, Wollongong Wolves 0, Blacktown City FC 0. And it's going to be Thomas James standing over this free kick. About 25 to 30 yards from goal. I wouldn't say Wollongong's basked in sunshine in the field position, but certainly on that far side it is a lot warmer and a lot brighter than it was a couple of hours ago. And can Thomas James make the evening even brighter for the Wolves fans? He strikes this. Was going like a rocket, but unfortunately was harmlessly over the bar. Blacktown City breathe a sigh of relief. They'll restart play with a goal kick. So Wollongong managed to get their foot back on the ball as Knight swings this across, looking for the run there of Nikolovsky, but can't find him. It's Blacktown doing their best just to really just keep that above water at the moment. And they have defended stoutly, and to their credit haven't given Wollongong really any great opportunities in this game and been able to block a lot of their shots coming in. Lewis back to the centre to Bragg. No one looking for it. Miscommunication there from Blacktown City. And the ball just harmlessly dribbles into touch. Not for the first time this afternoon either. And Blacktown City, a side that steals themselves on their defensive solidarity. As we said, the Wolves win a free kick. Only 7 goals conceded in 8 games, which is a phenomenal achievement. When you think that in one particular match in the early part of the season they conceded 3 goals in that game, it shows you that their defence, particularly in the latter part of this competition, has been absolutely smothering of the other oppositions in the NPL New South Wales. If they could just add a few more goals to the 7 goals that they've scored this season, they would be finding themselves pushing themselves up that ladder relatively quickly, and we all know they have the talent throughout the squad, particularly when you have a dynamo like Joe Gibbs up front, who has only scored once this season but is a noted goal scorer and has scored a lot of goals for Blacktown City in his career. As he inches up to 100 appearances for Blacktown City in the NPL, and close to 50 goals as well, which is a pretty good conversion rate if you ask me. Passfield has his foot on the ball once more. Stajewski back there trying to help out defensively as Taylor McDonald has his foot on the ball, lumps it forward looking for the run there of Uach. He can't do it. Lewis gets it out only as far as Tossi, and then Nikolovsky will not win his side a free kick. And there's a bit of afters going on here between Lewis and Nikolovsky. Just need to settle down, both players. They don't want to pull the trigger and get themselves into trouble. And Nikolovsky's fired up as he flies into every challenge. Blacktown searched that ball wide onto the right side. Much struggles to control it, and he can't, and he knocks it back about 5 metres and loses possession and goes into touch. So not a good passage of play there from Blacktown. 20.5 minutes gone, no score between Wollongong and Blacktown City. Well, swung forward, UH looking for it, but needed much longer legs than that to try and hook that ball back in. And couldn't help but watch it go over the byline. Goal kick for Blacktown City. As Prendergast will get us back underway. Happy to take his time and help his side get reset here. Nodded on there by Versi. And Versi manages to win the ball back here. A nice little turn by Versi, who almost danced his way through the Wollongong defence for a millisecond there before they managed to win the ball back. And now Thomas James, after calls of handball, can't get the ball in play and deflects off him for a throw-in. Blacktown showing fight, but Wollongong throwing everything at them at this moment of time in this game. Aragio goes wide now for Much. He's got a little bit of room if he can try and swing this one into the box. That's exactly what he does, coming up for it. And trying desperately was Adam Berry to get his head onto it. Good defence by the Wolves. They look to try and clear, but only as far as Nikolovsky, who sees the ball bounce off him and into touch. Blacktown, again, just wasteful, just giving away possession, which they can't afford to do in this kind of situation where they haven't really had much possession to speak of, and just make yourself doing more running and more defensive work, which is going to come into play, particularly in the second half when you think of those final 30 minutes when the legs start to get a little bit tired. So round 9 of the NPL has already had some tantalising contests. It started on Saturday up. Your Leichhardt have moved within a point of Wollongong with a 3-1 win against Sydney FC at Lambert Park. Sydney Olympic starting to find their groove, the reigning premiers. They won on the road in Fairfield at Marconi Stadium against the Stallions 3-1. And last night, lowly Mount Druitt Town Rangers and Sutherland Sharks both had a 1-1 draw. Sutherland probably a little bit unfortunate not to have got more out of that, but good defence by Mount Druitt to earn their side of a point. Still a couple of games along with this one to go this afternoon at 4:30 at Linden Sports Centre. Rockdale City and Manly United. And then at 5 o'clock, Sydney United will be looking to get an important 3 points and keep themselves nestled nicely in that top 4, top 5 in the NPL as they take on Hukoa Sydney City East at the City United Sports Centre at 5 o'clock. And both those games coming up will be on the NPL New South Wales live stream, either by going to the Football New South Wales YouTube channel and getting under the tab videos, or the NPL New South Wales Facebook page has all of those games live. So we hope you are enjoying the coverage, not just today and the matches over the weekend, but throughout the season. It's a fantastic initiative that Football New South Wales have done to be able to stream all of the games, and not just the first grade, but the under-20s, and you think of the women's competition and the NPL 2 and NPL 3. It is fantastic that people, not just in Australia, but all over the world, can see their sons or daughters or friends, relatives playing at the football field, or even just their local side that they support in the NPL. Of course, following the trend of Football Victoria and Football Queensland, who have cashed in on that development as well. Back to the action here, still no score, 24.5 minutes gone as Blacktown City have the ball, and here's Daniel Arugio, the former Sydney FC player, puts a nice ball now to Versi. And Versi tries to find a bit of room, but it can't. Goes back to Mason Versi here. Goes to Bragg. Versi wins the ball back once more, but dispossessed brilliantly there by James Jajewski. Really good run downfield as he now finds the run of Guy Knight. Knight almost daring the defence to come at him, and both got hands on one another. Blacktown City end up winning that duel. And Prendergast is able to clear, but only as far as the halfway line. And it's comfortably picked up there by Guy Knight once more, and they spread the ball across the back line. McDonald. Back to Littler. Georgievich, and wasn't that some strike last week over in the Sutherland Shire? Got Wollongong a very valuable point, but don't think you'll see too many better goals than that, not just in the NPL New South Wales, but in the football matches anywhere, particularly in Australia, maybe even across the world. Saw that it had been featured on English TV, which is great, on one of the sports shows over there, and obviously has been on the news and been going crazy on social media, which tends to happen when these things circulate. Nice interception there by Littler, who dinks a little ball through but has too much mustard on it, and he knows that it might have been a half opportunity there to set something up as he has his head in his hands and jogs back to the centre-back position. We know how he can find the back of the net. A couple of years ago he got the goal of the week for the Sutherland Sharks when they were playing over at the Belmore Sports Ground against Sydney Olympic. It was an absolute rocket from about 30 or 35 yards. He's got a boot on him. In that case, he needed a lack of boot just to finesse that one through. Thomas James heads it now to Nikolevsky. Nikolevsky goes forward now to Yuan, and Yuach, who may have thought he was offside and slowed down, and now Thomas James has clattered into a rather clumsy challenge by Berry, who wasn't going to apologise, but maybe just trying to just let the number 9 for the Wollongong Wolves know that he's there. James, after already copping a foot to the shin in this game earlier on. Down the left side, Yuach looking and running and searching for the ball. He goes to the byline, tries to get the ball back to a support player in Callahan. He can't do so, but it will win his side a throw-in. And you wonder what it's going to take for either of these two sides just to break the deadlock at the moment. A little bit of magic. Yuach swinging the ball in, and there was almost a little bit of magic there from the 25 from the Wollongong Wolves. They still have possession. As Callahan does a nice little flick ball through, but probably wasn't the option needed as Arugio is fouled right at the byline and will win the Blacktown City side a free kick. I just feel it's going to take maybe a little bit of individual class from a player from either side. You look through the team lists of both these sides, and Blacktown City obviously have some talent with Joey Gibbs up front and Dan Larugio, the attacking midfielder. Wollongong got Thomas James themselves, and Bal Yuach has been dangerous up front. Jordan Nikolovsky's looked really good on the ball. But at the moment, it's free kick now to Blacktown City. Wollongong have had the running, but you wouldn't really say they've had any real clear-cut opportunities. I know the ball did fall for Bal Yuach probably 10 or 12 minutes ago and got parried away fortuitously by Tristan Pendergrass, but apart from that, there hasn't been a whole lot of clear-cut opportunities. This ball swung in there by Much, and getting up for his Passford, who juggles and did well to get it back and drives the ball forward, looking for the run here of James, and James has got it. He'll keep it in play and might even try and take on this Blacktown City defence. He swings the ball in. It's knocked back now to Lachlan Campbell, and Campbell hits it into the touch line, and there'll be a throw-in again for Wollongong. Probably wise that Thomas James doesn't take that throw in there, because he's the kind of potent attacking player that the Wolves would love to have in the box for this passage of play. Littler. Tossie. Callahan. James. Nice little flick back to Yuach. Goes to the byline. Goes back now to James. Deflected away, and James has to knock the ball back to McDonald. It's thundered into the back there of Lewis. Didn't go out for a corner though. Just another throw in for the Wolves. They've had a fair few of these this afternoon. Thrown up, headed away by Blacktown City, up to Gibbs, who's doing his best with not a whole lot of quality ball, must be said. Intercepted now here by Stavjevski. He goes wide to Thomas James. An opportunity here for James. Swings it in. It's a beautiful finish. Calm as a cool as a cucumber. And it's 11th goal of the season for Thomas James. Beautifully done. And just really just eased it with finesse past a hapless Tristan Prendergast. And Wollongong, it's nothing less than they deserved. Finally, they get a clear-cut opportunity, and they don't take any second chances there. They find the net on half an hour, and it's the Wollongong Wolves who break the deadlock. They lead by 1-0. So that's not what Blacktown City wanted. They will need to try and, maybe not now, but think about being a little bit more aggressive going forward now that they have conceded this goal. They'll get a free kick here, but what a season Thomas James is having. 11 goals for the season. Takes back that mantle from Chris Payne now after he scored a couple of goals for Apia overnight. But just when Wollongong need a bit of magic and they need a goal, it seems to be he's the one stepping up. If I'm not mistaken, I think the next leading goal scorer for the Wolves is on 2, so he certainly has been ever present for them this season. Here's Joey Gibbs at the edge of the area, looking for something, curls the ball in. There's an opportunity here, and there's a scorpion-like kick, and Blacktown City almost had themselves an equaliser. It was tantalising play on that far post on the right-hand side, and very, very nearly had cancelled out the opener from Thomas James there. It was Mason Versey, who's been pretty bright, it must be said, for Blacktown in this contest. Headed away once more as Lewis gets in there. Callahan just cleans up and win his side a free kick. Another one of those Bulleye players that has come from the Illawarra Premier League up to the New South Wales NPL. And Mason Versey, who had that opportunity before, obviously knows this area quite well. Spent a bit of time down with the Dapto Fury in 2014 before he see a free kick here now for Wollongong, much to the dismay of the Blacktown City bench and the Blacktown City away supporters. Versey then on went to play youth team football with the Central Coast Mariners in his 6th game this year. Now Grant Lynch coming up and just trying to plead the case with the referee. But I'm pretty sure in the 150 years or so, or however long football's been going, I don't think a player's won an argument with a referee once. So I don't know if it will change now, but obviously just trying to get his point across. Steam Jadevsky, and now there's been something happened in the box. The player's gone down and a yellow card has been given. I think it might have even been to Grant Lynch. We'll try and confirm that, but regardless, a yellow card has been given. And I wouldn't say tempers have flared between these two sides, but there's certainly a bit of feeling out there. A bit of pushing and shoving and toing and froing in the area. Can Wollongong double their advantage and take a stranglehold of this game? Jasevsky swings this ball in. It's a nice ball punched out brilliantly by Prendergast. He had to stop that one, as Callahan's shot goes straight up in the air, nods it back on, but Blacktown survived there. It probably wasn't the passage of play that the Wolves really would have wanted. Plenty of spark on the bench for Blacktown City as well if they want to go that way. We can see that their bench has been warming up at the northern end here of Wynn Stadium. Leroy Jennings, the centre forward, the Fijian under-20 international on the bench, and he's a player that you'd think would figure at some stage in this fixture. Very cultured player that's the U-team player at the LA Galaxy, played at Wrexham in their reserve system up there in Wales in the English Football League. Also, attacking midfielder Dakota Askew, who have all places played in Gibraltar, which is not something you hear of a player every day, so it's a bit of a cultured career there as Gibbs is absolutely hacked down. They lose possession, and Wollongong surge forward once more here through Callahan. Callahan beats one, beats two, initially beat the second player, but Bragg managed to win the ball back. Arugio with the ball, he tries to get on the outside, but there's just too many numbers there by Wollongong, and Callahan wins possession back for his side. And now they'll win a free kick, has no advantage. So inside the final 10 minutes here. And this is a very pivotal moment in this match. Pivotal period of time. You wouldn't put a line through Blacktown City if they conceded again here, but it would be like Mount Everest to climb if they did fall down 2-0. And must be said, even before that goal was scored by Thomas James, a large majority of possession has been inside Blacktown City's half. Sajewski swings this one. It's a high ball headed away by Littler. Goes back to James with a rocket. But it's harmlessly over the bar. Looked like that one might have come off the shin as it bobbled over the crossbar, and some apologies are given there to Tristan Prendergast, who obviously wasn't that impressed with that defensive display by his side. So just the one goal. Thomas James scoring on half an hour. A calm right-footed finish. That's not only beat Tristan Prendergast, but also beat another Blacktown City defender that was back there. One now here by James Tajewski. Goes to Thomas James now as he takes on the defence. And a winning side a throw in. Oh, and there's a bit of afters going on here. And there might be some cards brandished by the referee. Lynch had something to say after Thomas James went down. James then held onto the ankle, almost like who's channeling his inner St George Illawarra Dragons that play their home games here, and reefed him to the ground. And the referee is going to have a chat to these players and just try and calm proceedings down, because it's got quite aggressive over the last probably 10 to 15 minutes. Djordjevic is out there, it looks like, having a bit of a word. So the referee just hasn't brandished any cards, so he's decided to keep the cards in the pocket and not try and escalate things, or not let them escalate. McDonald throws in. It's a deep throw headed away by Blacktown City, only as far as Littler to Tossie. Tossie goes over. And it'll be a free kick to Blacktown City. And Callaghan this time, the guilty party. And still some words being exchanged there between Callaghan. As Blacktown City again lose possession. Callaghan with a nice ball fed out wide there to the 25 in Bulyoach. Nice ball across the middle to Thomas James. Chance for Wollongong. And a hiss of side netting. A golden opportunity there for James Tuskevsky. And I think 95% of Wynn Stadium went up because they thought the ball was in the back of the net. It was a golden opportunity, but Wollongong, almost like Moses in biblical times, just seemed to part the Blacktown City defence like the Red Sea. They'll get possession once more as Blacktown are so completely rattled at the moment. Defensively have worked hard in this half, but the wheels just kind of feel like they're falling off at the moment as Bulyoach goes back. Surging into the area there was Callaghan, but well intercepted by Lachlan Campbell, who's been strong in defence of Blacktown City. Now they go to Berry. Berry has a bit of room to run. He does. He feeds it wide now for Joey Gibbs, but doesn't have the pace to get behind Littler. He knocks it back to Passfield. Passfield just chips it over the top there of the Blacktown City striker. Goes to James, nodded on. Flicked back inside by Callaghan, but didn't hit the right portion of the head, and Blacktown City are able to dispossess the Wolves. Ruggiero gets the ball back. And Ruggiero taken down afterwards there by Bulyoach, and the referee might come back to that because Ruggio's still down. He's playing advantage at the moment. Lynch with his foot on the ball for the Blacktown City side, but intercepted. And Callaghan feeds it forward here for Thomas James, and he puts the afterburners on. Thomas James surging into the area up against Lynch, and they've had a nice little battle here this afternoon. Lynch would not want to let him get one up on him after he's already found the back of the net once. Tossie, about 30 yards from goal. McDonald. Callaghan. Tossie. Back to Callaghan. It was a hard pass. He did well to win it. In fact, it was Stevzewski there that had his foot on the ball. But Blacktown City able to get the ball back for a short period of time. Arugio then with a lovely ball initially, but didn't have the pace behind it. William Much to get down that right-hand side. Headed forward there by James. Tossie. Garnett making an overlapping run. It goes to Callaghan, that attacking midfield role. Callaghan still going, running to the edge of the area. Callaghan with a wonderful effort which hits the bar. Well saved by Prendergast, but a magical run there by the number 14 for the Wolves, Harry Callaghan. But now Blacktown City break forward here through Daniel Arugio. Arugio weaves his way into the area, but Djordjevic with a wonderful challenge, proving that he can do it at both ends of the park. It's not just scorpion kicks from him. Very strong defensive player as he thunders this ball forward looking for the run of Baluach, but that was so close to being 2-0. 41 minutes gone as well, and that would have been not only a magical goal, but a magical moment here for the Wolves. And you could almost hear the cries of the Wollongong fans as they almost willing the ball into the back of the net. Prendergast goes forward there to Much. He nods the ball on for Arugio. Arugio tries to keep the ball in, can't do so. Throw in for Wollongong.
I want kids to take part in the M+ Wolf Chase. Please make your way to the southwest corner of the ground now.
What will both these coaches say at half-time, as we are just 3 minutes away, plus minimum added time? You'd think that Luke Wilshire would be pretty happy with how his side's played in the first half. It's probably just their finishing, and it must be said, has been a couple of really good saves from Tristan Prendergast that has denied them, particularly that one that he tipped onto the bar off Callaghan. Callaghan goes back now to Djevski. So James Djevski's been involved in everything this afternoon. Him along with Harry Callaghan have really just marshalled that midfield here for Wollongong. One there by Lewis momentarily, and then Tossie gets tangled up there with Joey Gibbs. Free kick for Blacktown City. High quality game. They're only the one goal, but there's been some wonderful individual performances by both sides. As taken forward there by Lynch. Now they go further forward looking for the run there of Adam Berry. The attacking midfielder couldn't get on the end of it. It just takes a couple of little passages of play like that from Blacktown. They've still created enough in this first half to be well in this contest, and games can change so quickly. Only the one goal, but I'm sure they'll be itching to get into the sheds and try and get some further instructions from Mark Crittenden. Thomas James on the left side, looking for support. He swings it all the way across to the right here to Taylor McDonald. McDonald with a beautiful ball into the area, headed away by Blacktown City. Only as far as Lynch. Lynch then thumps it forward here to Joey Gibbs. Gibbs doesn't really have any support at all. It's been very hard work for the Blacktown City number 9 as he finds himself on the right side of midfield and just ends up having to just hook the ball forward. A few words being exchanged by the Blacktown City teammates as well. Inside the final 30 seconds of regulation time here at Wynn Stadium. And Passford holds onto the ball as long as he can, trying to invite the pressure there of Mason Versey before he eventually does pick up the ball. They drive the ball down here, and again it finds its way into touch. Kind of get the feeling it'll be maybe around 2 or 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Djordjevic with a thunderous ball through there, and it goes straight to Prendergast. So 2 minutes of minimum added time here at Wynn Stadium. Can either side create one last opportunity in this first stanza? Arugio. Lewis back to Arugio. Nice ball there for the run there of Berry. Berry just can't quite get it, and it's thumped into the crowd, and people have to take cover as it gets out of harm's way. Lewis. This goes across Georgievich. Heads it out only as far there as Versi. Mason Versi with the ball. Nice through ball looking for the run of Arugio. And it'll be left to run all the way out for a goal kick. And Justin Passfield, knowing that there isn't too much time left in this first half, just happy to take his time and help his Wollongong side reset. So he drives the ball upfield, just gets caught in the wind a little bit. McDonald has to go back and knot it on via a header. And Thomas James tries to win possession, but well worked there by Berry. And then Lynch is able to clear down the sideline, and Littler has to knock it into touch. So one last attacking opportunity here for Blacktown City. Goes now to Joey Gibbs on this left side. Can he create something for the Western Sydney side? Back to Lewis. Pressing high though, Wollongong, putting them under lots of pressure on the ball. Lachlan Campbell goes back to Arugio. Arugio now looking for the run there of Mason Versi, who's dancing around defenders but can't really find any openings. Goes back to Versi. Versi tries to beat one, well defended there by Wollongong once more. And that'll be the last play of the opening half. An absorbing opening 45 minutes here at WIN Stadium. And at half-time, it's the home side, the Wollongong Wolves, the happier of the two sides. They lead by 1-0, courtesy of that man again, Thomas James. His 11th goal of the NPL New South Wales season. A calm, right-footed finish past the Blacktown City defence and past Tristan Prendergast to give them a lead. There also a wonderful open by Harry Callahan, which was tipped onto the bar on the 35-minute mark, and it could have easily been 2 or 3-0 for the Wolves, but Blacktown City able to hold on and show some defensive solidarity in the last 10 or so minutes to go to the sheds at 1-0. We'll take a break here on the live stream. We'll join us for all the action in the second half in around 10 or 15 minutes time. It's Blacktown City 0, Wollongong Wolves 1. Welcome back to Wynn Stadium here. Jack Clifton, your commentator for this NPL New South Wales Round 9 fixture between the Wollongong Wolves and Blacktown City FC. Half-time and the second half about to get back underway. Wollongong lead by a 1-0, courtesy of Thomas James on half an hour. It was a very interesting opening half. Wollongong had a lot of the running and wouldn't say they had a whole lot of opportunities, but they scored that one goal, and we saw Callaghan thump one against the crossbar after a brilliant save, and a few other little half opportunities, and this is more than a half opportunity for the Wolves. Stumbling forward there is Callaghan. Whoa, it's hit the crossbar again. Well, this one's actually off the post, I think. Harry Callaghan must be wondering what he's done to get this bad luck, walk under a ladder or broken a mirror or something like that, but he did so well after being, looked like he might have been tripped up. He was stumbling on his feet and then regained his balance, and an absolute rocket of a shot, and would have been less than 30 seconds into the second half, and it could have easily been 2-0. So talk about opportunities. Well, there's two golden ones for the Wolves and Harry Callaghan that have fallen probably in the last 15 to 20 minutes. Could easily beat 3 or 4-0, and now there's a foul on that far side, and maybe some cards coming out. It is. It's going to be a yellow card on that far side, as we see a Wollongong player down in a fair bit of discomfort, it must be said. Well, certainly what Luke Wilshire said in the dressing rooms at half-time has paid dividends for Wollongong. Breaking down and almost scoring inside the first 30 seconds. They get a free kick here just inside a field of play on the right side. Throwing bodies forward to the Wolves with only two defenders back in Callaghan and Tossi. Swinging up, Djordjevic trying to get onto the end of it. He can't do so, and it's knocked away by Blacktown City into touch. Thrown into the area, cleared away momentarily there by Daniel Collins. Callaghan gets his foot on the ball. He's been involved in everything now. Callaghan's still going. It's tripped away there by the Blacktown City, then thumps off the back of the referee, and there's groans throughout the crowd, but not for Wollongong as they get the ball back here through Stajewski. Heads up to, or throws a ball in there for Uach, who almost got on the end of it. And Blacktown, they're knocking on the door at the moment. There's only been 2.5 gone in this second half, and they've already had a couple of opportunities to extend that lead that currently sits at 1-0. A real testing little period here for the visitors. Certainly wouldn't have counted them out if that Harry Callaghan shot had gone in, but would have made things a lot more difficult, as again they go forward here through Thomas James, and James bundled to the ground. They appeal for a free kick. They won't get any. In fact, there'll be a throw in for Blacktown City. So home crowd doing their best to try and will the referee onto a free kick on that occasion, but falling on deaf ears. Mark Crittenden just almost slumping back into his chair here as he hopes to see his side show be a little bit more resolute, particularly on the ball and particularly going forward, but hasn't really been because they've done anything bad or wrong. It's just been the hustle of Wollongong, and there's a reason why they're undefeated. And now we see a foul by Wollongong, and it's Mason Versi that's taken down, and Blacktown are able to reset and push themselves inside Wolves territory. Grant Lynch starts things back up and goes to the centre-back in Daniel Collins. Much here on the right side. Spoke about his time spent at Sydney FC. Played with their youth team and their under-21 side there, as we see a nice little run taken forward here by Leroy Jennings, who has come on. So they've made a substitution at half-time. Blacktown City will try and confirm who the player is that has gone off. Goes back here to Barrett at the edge of the area, looking for the run there of Daniel Rougeau. Can't find it. Go out for a goal kick, so Wollongong defensively able to put some things in place there to make sure they weren't hurt in that passage of play. As Wollongong surge forward here through Harry Callahan. He's been player of the match so far for me with those amazing runs and 2 brilliant efforts that have only been denied by the woodwork. Here's Arugio, and he's tripped up. It'll be a free kick to Blacktown City. So it looks as if it might be Lachlan Campbell, the number 12 for Blacktown City, that has been subbed off. And his replacement is Leroy Jennings. They also have Devante Clutt on the bench as well, the former A-League player. So they've got some spark on the bench, particularly in that midfield area, if they want to use that as the half goes on. Already had 5 minutes in this second half. No change to that halftime scoreline. Still Wollongong 1, Blacktown City 0. Goes back to Collins. Now Much. Still patches of blue sky down here in Wollongong as well. The shadows have fully encompassed Wynn Stadium, so getting a little bit chillier in this second half. As Little does well to get in behind and then just thump the ball forward, get it out of harm's way. It's back to Versey. Forward they go, looking for the run of Arugio. He can't keep his foot on the ball, and then both players sliding in. Arugio goes down, and there's going to be a yellow card brandished straight away. So referee right on top of things there. Daniel Arugio's had probably 3 or 4 times in this game he's been clattered into. But just slowly getting to his feet, taking his time to check that both legs are still there. It was a pretty physical challenge. Blacktown City, they've had a bit more possession in these last couple of minutes inside Wollongong's half. Trying to create that bit of brilliance that might be able to get them to equalise. As Much twirls this ball in, looking for the run there of Versey, who does well to keep it in initially. Knocks it back out for a throw in, so it will be deep inside Wollongong territory here. Just waiting on the call whether it is a throw in or it is a goal kick. They're going to say throw in, even despite the appeals from the Wollongong players. So not long until Rockdale City kick off their afternoon game against Manly United. That's on at 4:30, and Sydney United against Ocoa Sydney City East at 5. So plenty of NPL New South Wales football to feast your eyes upon over the next couple of hours. As Blacktown City move brilliantly here to Barry. Barry goes further forward here to Lewis. Lewis back on the inside to Gibbs, and Gibbs just couldn't wrap his foot around it, and that was a big opportunity there for Blacktown City. As now the Wollongong Wolves make a bit of a break, and it's blocked into touch there by Arugio. Throw in for Wollongong. Oh, and a heavy challenge there on Tossie. And now a bit of push and shove going on between both these players, and another yellow card comes out. Well, there's cards coming out left, right and centre, so maybe both sets of coaches might have to start looking to their bench as a way of maybe just protecting some of these players as tempers just slightly start to flare in this second half. Not even 10 minutes gone. Free kick for Tossie. It's going to be taken by Stajewski. Swung in, it's a good ball, it's knocking around Djordjevic. Almost got on the end of it, but offside is the call, so Blacktown breathe a sigh of relief. 10 minutes gone, second half. Wollongong 1, Blacktown City 0. So he's been ever-present, Bull Uach, but just can't get on the end of that pass that goes forward. He's been hustling and trying to get him behind that Blacktown City defence at every opportunity, as is Callaghan, who has the ball now. Lose it though by Ruggiero there. Pokes the ball forward now. They get a chance to break here through much down this right side. He's got plenty of running room. Green pastures ahead of him. Knocks it back on the inside here to Gibbs. Gibbs goes further wide now to Versey. Versey with a half opportunity. It's blocked away after a right foot shot was lashed in there. He's looking for support. Still going as Versey. Might try and go again. It deflects off a Wollongong defender, but he does win it back. Goes to Ruggiero. Ruggiero back to Lewis. And Lewis wins it once more. There's quick passing and those triangle movements, so the aim here for this Blacktown City side. Try and drag the Wollongong players out of position. Goes to Gibbs. Gibbs clips one over the top there to Versey. Headed back inside to Gibbs. Good defence by Wollongong, clear, but still pressure for the time being. Lewis swings the ball in. Litley gets up there. The towering centre back and knocks it forward. And then clumsy there from Versey on Tossie. And Wollongong will be able to get out of harm's way with a free kick just outside their area. So Passfield to take the free kick. So within 30 seconds of this second half starting, there was an opportunity for Wollongong to go 2-0 up as Harry Callaghan slapped a shot against the woodwork after he hit the crossbar in the first half for a shot that was unlucky not to go in. That one was probably just as good. And Blacktown probably thanking their lucky stars at the crossbar and the post have been their 12th play here this afternoon. Passfield clears upfield, looking for the run of Uach. Rebounds at the back of his head and now goes to Jordan Nikolovsky. Nikolovsky goes now to Thomas James. James just inside the area, swings the ball across the middle. Well defended and well cleared by Blacktown City. Only as far there as Stajewski. In fact, it was Guy Knight that was taken down and holding his right shoulder in a fair bit of discomfort, it must be said. Not good signs for the midfielder for the Wolves. As we just have a bit of break in proceedings. 58.5 minutes gone, Wollongong 1, Blacktown City 0. If this result stays the same, Wollongong will get their lead back to 4 points like it was at the start of the round. Apia winning last night 3-1 to momentarily reduce it to 1 point. And it's just a brief break here for Guy Knight, the midfielder, as he just goes off and gets a bit of attention. As they go forward through Gibbs. Arugio headed away there by Djordjevic. And now Thomas James gets a nice little through ball. What's he going to try and do? Thomas James, already 11 goals this season, flicks the ball across here for Callaghan. Callaghan with an opportunity, bumped off the ball brilliantly there. And again, done once more there by the 23 for Blacktown City in Daniel Bragg. And it's going to be a corner for Wollongong. Blacktown City protesting, but another dead ball situation here for Wollongong to try and extend this lead. They go the short. They go to Thomas James inside the area. Swung in there. Ball goes across the face of goal and no one could get on the end of it. Just need the barest of touches and it would have been in the back of the net. So wicked cross by James Tedeschi. And it's going to go out for another corner. So they started knocking on the door at the start of the first half. They're starting to turn it into a bit of a bang now, Wollongong, as they search for this second goal. As we just pass an hour here at Wynn Stadium. Home fans in strong voice as always down here on the south coast. Swung in from the right, getting up for it and headed away was Jennings. And then Lewis is able to clear, but it's already gone out, so it's going to be a third consecutive corner. Swung in, knocked away there by Blacktown City. Only as far there as Nikolovsky, but he can't get enough on it to get it past Prendergast. Callahan has to go back and retrieve it. Now has it on the left side of midfield. James tried to do a bit of a crossover there, but his teammates weren't on the same page. And it's cleared by Blacktown City into touch. Guy Knight back on the field, so recovered from that shoulder injury incurred a couple of minutes ago. Georgievic across to Littler. Littler with a lovely ball 40 metres across field there to Thomas James. James looking to take on the defence. Gets around them. Thomas James! What a finish! What a goal! He is the magic man for Wollongong Wolves. Wollongong 2, Blacktown City 0. Thomas James, 12 goals for the season, 2 for the day. And they might just give him the keys to Wollongong as well. Brilliant finish. Pointed around like a manager on the touchline as if to say, you run this way. And I think we all knew that he was going to take on and run. And curled a wonderful finish past a hapless Tristan Prendergast, who did his best, was outstretched, but the ball rocketed into the back of the net. And on 62 minutes, it's a double for Thomas James. And Wollongong 2 goals to the good. They lead by 2 goals to 0. Well, it's a huge mountain now for Blacktown City. They trailed 2-0. And considering they've only scored 7 goals in 8 matches in the league up to this point, that makes it even a more arduous task for them. Hasn't been through lack of trying. They've been trying to link up well in midfield, but Wollongong's defence has just been watertight here this afternoon. And their attacking intent, they could easily be up 3 or 4-0 at this stage, considering Callahan has hit the post and the crossbar. Either of those had gone in. It would be good night for the Blacktown side. Prendergast clears upfield. Headed forward to Berry, and then Berry goes to Bragg, and Bragg looking for support but can't find it, and we'll get the ball back here through Thomas James, but dispossessed initially there by Much. Goes back to Berry. Berry goes on the far side to Lynch. Lynch has a bit of room with manoeuvres. Wollongong sit back a little bit deeper now. Intercepted well there by the Wolves. Goes forward to Uach, and Uach now goes to Taylor McDonald, and McDonald swings the ball in. It goes now to Thomas James, who might have an opportunity for 3 here. Let small bounce, and he gets around one defender, still going as Thomas James, and then pushed down in the air. A referee says it's fine, and it almost wasn't fine for Blacktown. It's going to be a corner as Nikolovsky absolutely cracked that ball, and Tristan Prendergast had to be on his best behaviour to make sure he tipped that over the bar. And they're coming in waves at the moment. Wollongong Wolves, 64 minutes gone. They lead 2-0. They want more. Third goal looking ominous. I must say, inevitable at the moment. Just the classy play that we're seeing from the midfield and the attacking players of the Wolves. Swung in from the right. Getting up for it is McDonald, who almost got there. He gets it back again. McDonald! And curls it around for 3. Wonderful finish by the talented right back. He gets on the score sheet. And Blacktown City look dead and buried. Wollongong Wolves 3, Blacktown City FC 0.
Wolves 3, Blacktown 0.
Did well there, Taylor McDonald. As we see a substitution for the Wolves. Liam Will coming on to replace Jordan Nikolovsky. So bringing some fresh legs on as Luke Wilkshire, but someone that doesn't need fresh legs is Taylor McDonald. 1-0 finish there. Did well he lost the ball initially and then to win it back, and then a curling effort. And Prendergast again didn't do a whole lot wrong, but just couldn't get there. It was just too good of a shot. And Wolves now up 3-0. This is probably what they deserve. Their dominance has been pushed into goals now. And Blacktown City lose the ball again. Thomas James surging forward. Is there more goals? James goes across the middle there to Sajewski. And the ball is called around and almost ends up in the back of the net once more as Bull Uach tries to get it on the party. Good work there by Sajewski and Uach on that right edge. And they've been pressured the whole afternoon, Blacktown City. And now it seems to be getting worse and worse as they look less confident on the ball than they did at the back end of that first half. It'll take a miracle in these final 24 and a bit minutes to get anything out of this contest. So Wollongong wing bat possession, and Littler thunders this ball upfield and clears halfway. Probably a 45 or 50 metre kick by the end of it. And back there is Callahan as he gets around a couple of defenders. Good work by him once more. Pushes up looking for the run there of Thomas James, who tries to flick around the corner. He gets the rebound, and now an opportunity for the Wolves to attack once more. Good challenge, very good challenge there from Daniel Bragg. There's this swirling ball held up in the Wollongong wind. It's going to be just kept in there by Leroy Jennings, and Jennings loses about 15 metres though. Further going back now and has to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Brilliant defensive play, and almost ended in tragedy for Blacktown City as Bull Uach almost nicked him behind and added another goal, but it might be another goal here as McDonald surges forward. McDonald back to Uach. Uach with a golden chance, but just his touch is a bit heavy, goes down under the pressure, and the ball is released and Blacktown City survive. But a crowd is absolutely buzzing at the moment because I think they know at any moment there could be more goals for the home side. Still 22 minutes of regulation time as Blacktown City look to bring Emmanuel Gonzalez into the fray. Trying to throw some attacking midfielders on just to give them some impetus. And pretty flat as much on this right-hand side. Can't keep the ball in. And it'll be a goal kick for the Wolves.
Substitution for Blacktown City. Number 23, Daniel Bragg, replaces Emmanuel Gonzalez.
So Daniel Bragg comes off and Gonzalez comes on. So some fresh legs being brought on by Blacktown City for the final 20. Goes forward now to Callahan, on to Knight, sorry. Back there to Georgievic. Goes now to Callahan. Callahan surging forward. Still tries to get his foot on the ball. And it's eventually cleared by Grant Lynch, who's had a difficult afternoon with this attacking in front of Wollongong. Had the best attack coming into this game, and now they take it to 21 goals for the season, just 9 against, with a goal difference of positive 12. A nice little cheeky ball there through to Sajewski. Sajewski runs to the byline. Might go back to Thomas James. He does just that. Thomas James swings the ball in from the left-hand side, but deflected away by Blacktown City. Goes back to Prendergast. And clears it up over halfway, but no Blacktown City player really inside of that delivery. Taken forward there by Liam Wilt. He gets his first opportunity of the game, and what a time to come onto the pitch with his side comfortably in command. Over a Blacktown side that just looks demoralised at the moment. Can they get a goal just to make things interesting in this final 20 or so minutes? Berry goes to Joey Gibbs. Ruggiero. That goes to Versey. Versey goes forward, but again, Little intercepts. He's been very good this afternoon, the centre-back, and now looks for the run of Vuac, and Bull Vuac again gets through, but a couple of defenders still going as Bull Vuac eventually goes down, wins a free kick as well, and it will be a card there for Daniel Arugio, and a free kick for the Wollongong Wolves, about 30 metres from goal, as they all amble up to the free kick mark. So free kick for Wollongong, probably more about 35 metres from goal, but at least 30 yards from the sticks. On 11-0 at Coaldale, and they've got another 3 here, swung in there. Ball by Littler is going to go in and score! The centre-back gets his second of the season, and it's 4-0 for Wollongong, and they are running riot here in Wollongong. A wonderful finish in the end. The Blacktown City defence all look like statues, and did well to get his leg up and knock it past Tristan Prendergast, who's having a torrid day between the sticks. Still 18 minutes of regulation time left, and it's now the Wollongong Wolves 4, Blacktown City FC 0. On Blacktown City, what do they do now? They've been absolutely monstered and taken apart in their second half. You obviously don't want to throw players back and defend when you're down 4-0. But what can they really do? They could throw players forward, but it could get ugly with still 20 or so minutes to go. You wouldn't discount another 1 or 2 being scored by the Wolves, and if you're on the wrong end of a 5 or 6-0 defeat, questions are going to be asked of the playing group. Go to the edge of the area here to Versey. Versey goes back looking for the run of Arugio. And the ball takes a deflection, goes over the bar, and it's going to be a corner for Blacktown City. So Blacktown City with a rare opportunity. Might even be their first corner of the game. Swung in from the left-hand side. It was pretty tame. And the ball is going to go out, and it's going to be a goal kick for Wollongong. Blacktown suggesting that he may have come off a Wollongong player, but the referee tended to disagree. 73.5 minutes gone. Not too much long left in this one, but still long enough for the pain of the Blacktown City fans and players to want this over as quick as possible. It's not as if, as we see Wollongong win a free kick, it's not as if it wasn't coming. There were certainly signs in that first half. It took half an hour for the first goal to come through Thomas James, but then after that, Wollongong was surging through and created opportunities at will. Harry Callahan hit the crossbar, 10 from ball half time, and it was a brilliant save in the end by Prendergast, which denied him, and then he was denied by the upright just 30 seconds into the second stanza. It would have been easy for Wollongong to drop their heads there and just think, oh, luck is against us today, but they've marched on and put in a really good attacking performance and defensively been very, very sound and constantly pressured Blacktown City and find themselves 4-0 up in what has been a clinical attacking display by the South Coast unit. It's fended away here. Versi loses possession there to Uach. Goes across from Taylor McDonald to Tossie. Tossie goes back to Littler. Littler will go all the way back to Justin Passford, who's almost had a bird's eye view of the attacking and great defensive display. Hasn't really been called upon too much at all this afternoon. Goes forward to Thomas James. Well controlled once again, but it's going to be offside against the Wolves. So 2 more to Thomas James. Has him 12 goals for the season. And the fact we're not even at the halfway mark of the season, he could easily have a 20, 25 plus goal season. And that's when A-League clubs do come knocking. And you can be showing that kind of form, and those kind of finishes were seen from him this season as Littler gets him behind and clears into touch for the Wolves. Ball boy has a nice little trek up the Family Hill, as it's called, at Wynn Stadium, at least when the NRL is on down here at Wollongong. As this ball's curled into the right, looking for it is Gonzalez, headed away by Djordjevic. And it will be a corner here for Blacktown City. So a couple of corners and a couple of half opportunities in the last few minutes for the visitors. Ball swung in, beats everyone, and beats Lewis as well, but did take a deflection off a Wollongong player. So throw in here for Blacktown City inside the final 15 minutes of regulation. Wonder if Luke Wilshire decides to ring some changes for the final little period and give some of his star players, I think the likes of Callaghan and Thomas James, an opportunity to get an early rest. McDonald clears upfield, looking for the run here at James. He's just ever present, isn't he? Shows good acceleration to get him behind them. Still going and pulled to ground. Will be a free kick on the right side of midfield, right near the area, as James almost theatrically stays down and flings himself to ground after the initial foul. And Blacktown City are going to make their third and final substitution. And it is going to be Devante Clut who's going to come on and replace Daniel Arugio, who, in my opinion, has been the best player out there for Blacktown City. He's worked hard, he's run, he's hustled, he's defended well, and he's tried to create opportunities, but just unfortunately hasn't been his or Blacktown City's day. So Devante Clut onto the field. The 23-year-old, 38 appearances in the A-League, so a player that knows how to get it done as Wollongong get the ball into the area. It's headed just away over the crossbar by Thomas James, who maybe got a bit of attention there from the defensive players of Blacktown City. But a very disappointing afternoon for Blacktown City. Always hard coming up against the first place outfit away from home. But they would have been hoping for a lot more than this today. Defensively, they've been very, very good. Having conceded just 7 goals this season. Now they've conceded 4 in one game, albeit against the ladder leaders. But now you wonder where they go to next. They struggled in patches against Terrigal last Wednesday night in the FFA Cup, and did enough to hold on for a 3-2 win after trailing at half-time. Would have been hoping that was maybe a bit of a nucleus for them pushing forward in the league, but they will lose for the 4th time this season. And it means their goal difference goes from 0 down to -4, at least for the time being. Ball falls for Uach once more. Now goes forward to Callaghan. Callaghan can't quite thread the needle, but there might be a chance here. And Uach almost gets the deflection into the back of the net. Reminiscent of Dwight York's goal against Middlesbrough back in the 98-99 season, where his ball was deflected off his back into the back of the net. And that would really put the icing on the cake for the Wolves, and the last thing that Blacktown City need. And Wollongong are going to look to their substitute bench. Stefan Domovsky's going to come on, so you would assume that Thomas James is going to get an early break and a chance to get the plaudits of the Wollongong home fans who no doubt will be roaring in congratulating him as he makes his way up the field if he is the player to be substituted off. Domovsky scored 5 against Coaldale in the FA Cup as well, so there's not too much relief for Blacktown City. Here's Callaghan into the area. Uact with an opportunity. Goes down. Referee says no. Was all ball is the call from the referee in the middle, and it will be a goal kick. So 80 minutes on the clock and a substitution coming on. And so it won't be Thomas James. It'll be Bull Uack who will make his way off, and he's worked really, really hard today up front. So good performance by Bull Uack today. Very, very strong on the ball. Created opportunities, linked up well with his fellow players, and he gets a breather with 10 to go. And Stefan Domovsky's come on loud. Cheers for him. Good performance by the front man, and gets a nice big hug there from head coach Luke Wilkshire. Headed away there by Gibbs. Ball was kept in initially there by Blacktown City, but it thundered forward by the Wollongong Wolves, and Thomas James will win another throw-in. So not content with 2 goals and a 4-0 lead. Thomas James and Wollongong continuing to press forward. Never know when goal difference can mean between finishing in first or second or other particular positions on the ladder. +9 coming in this game, so they've gone to +13. It's a pretty commanding for and against at this stage of the season. Push forward as Litley gets up and heads away, looking for the run there of Tossie. Can't find him. Pushing forward now is Versey, and Versey gets around Littler. Nice little run there by the attacking midfielder. Looking to take on the red-headed centre-back. He gets around him once more. Still going as Versey. Ball bouncing around like a pinball machine, and it's cleared away by the Wolves. So push forward, opportunity here for Klut. Looking for the run there of Gonzalez, but they weren't really on the same page, and Djordjevic is able to shepherd that one over the byline, and it'll be a goal kick here for the Wollongong Wolves, who you wouldn't think are going to be overly expansive in these final 7.5 minutes of regulation. Shooting there'd probably be about 3 to 4 minutes of minimum stoppage time to be played. Passfield drives up the field, and McDonald heads on looking for the run there of Thomas James. Can't find it, but Domovsky might get there. It's headed back and into the grateful arms there of Prendergast. So Berry now collects the ball. Nice pass through there to Leroy Jennings, and Jennings surging downfield, looking to take on the Wollongong defence. He beats one. Jennings with a nice strike just wide of the goals. It was a half-decent effort, and hasn't been too many of those today, but it was wide of the goalpost for a goal kick here for Wollongong. And one last sub here by Luke Wilkshire for the Wolves. And Brendan Lowe's going to make his way out on the pitch for the first time today and get an opportunity, the youngster. So Wollongong with the ball once more. McDonald goes to Domovsky. Domovsky with lash at that one. And Prendergast is absolutely furious with his back four as they held off him. And if he'd struck that one a little bit nicer, it would have been 5-0. So Brendan Lowe comes on. He replaces Guy Knight. Wonderful performance by him today. A real workman horse-like effort in that midfield. And an opportunity here for Brendan Lowe to spend some much needed time out in the pitch and get some first grade experience. And he gets a touch almost straight away there, defending against Joey Gibbs. Gonzalez breaks forward and up against Djordjevic, and he knocks it into Djordjevic's shin or win a corner. Can Blacktown City find the back of the net? They've hustled and worked hard for a large portion of this game, and the scoreline of 4-0 doesn't accurately reflect their hard work and determination throughout this game. Swung in there by Gonzalez, headed away by Wollongong. Klutz swings it into Littler. Littler drives it forward out of harm's way, goes to Thomas James, and Thomas James lumps it forward. They're looking for the run of Stefan Domovsky, but he couldn't get there in time as Tristan Prendergast gets it. And they lay it out from the back as they set up one more attacking raid. I guess on the flip side of that argument, it's Wollongong who will be, I'd probably say, desperate to keep a clean sheet, having worked so hard for 85 and a half minutes, almost 86 minutes. Nothing worse than conceding a goal late, even when you are in a strong position and know that you're not going to lose the game. Will with the ball, nice little flick there to Thomas James. And it will be a free kick on the halfway on the left side of midfield for the Wolves. Go down this left-hand side. Thomas James, he's already got two. He's searching for a third goal. He trips under, gets back up, flicks the ball up once more. Now it takes its way to Will. Will goes across the centre of the goal. And there's a strike here. It takes a deflection off a Blacktown City defender, and they're able to recover sufficiently to clear the ball into touch. And it will be a throw-in for Blacktown City. But that was very, very close. Could have been a whole lot worse. As a free kick here to Blacktown as Gibbs falls under the pressure there, and props to him for working hard and constantly working and searching for the ball, even despite a tough afternoon. Down this left-hand side, ball kept in now. In fact, it hasn't been kept in by Versey. Tiresome effort from the former Central Coast Mariners youth team player, but can't keep that ball in, and Wollongong will take over possession. So Wollongong sitting quite deep now, absorbing pressure, almost inviting Blacktown to come at them. Joey Gibbs chips a nice little ball over the top there. Half opportunity here for Blacktown City back in the centre, and Tossi gets back there and comfortably clears into touch. So 12 minutes gone in that other NPL New South Wales game between Rockdale City and Manly United. No score there as Gibbs and Tossi gets tangled up, and then Littler and co get into another bit of a tussle there with Berry. And at the end of all that, it will be a free kick about 30 yards from goal on this right channel for Blacktown City. Inside the final 90 seconds of regulation time. So Passfield just setting his wall. He's already kept a couple of clean sheets this year, the veteran shot stopper. Vastly experienced, and what a gift he is for Wollongong Wolves. This ball chipped into the area and headed over the bar there by Joey Gibbs. Was under a lot of pressure there from the Wolves back four, but probably felt he should have done better than that. And Passford obviously going to take his time here with getting proceedings back underway as he drives this one forward, looking for the run there of Lowe. Can't do so. Tossi tries to defend that ball away. Leroy Jennings gets up there and then puts the ball onto the chest of William Much, but they lose possession. to Blacktown, and Wollongong win it back. There was a couple of players fall down, and now Thomas James with an opportunity, just got tangled up a little bit there with Grant Lynch and did enough just to knock him off the ball. It meant that he couldn't get there, and Much is down. He's copped a bit of a knock to the back of the noggin as he stays down. The fourth official just checks on him. He's okay, just a bit of a painful knock there. And we've got Tossie, who's down closer to the Wollongong Wolves 18-yard area. So Tossie maybe just getting some sprigs into the leg there as he limps off and gets a rousing round of applause by the Wollongong faithful. The 90 minutes have elapsed, and there's going to be just 2 minutes of added time. So not too much longer for Blacktown City to put this misery behind them and shower and get on the bus and get back to their team headquarters as quickly as possible. It's been a resounding victory for the Wollongong Wolves. They've been brilliant in every facet of the game. Fantastic performance up front by Thomas James with 2 goals. Nick Littler also added 1, and Taylor McDonald with a rocket from inside the area. But it's been set up there by the enigmatic striker, who now has 12 goals for the season. Backed up well there by Harry Callahan in the midfield, as Thomas James attempts to get on the outside there of Lynch. Can't do so. So James with 2 goals, McDonald with 1, and Nick Littler with 1 as well. So Blacktown City vainly searching for a goal late on here. Much with possession. Into the middle he goes to Berry. Berry goes back to Much. Half an opportunity here as he knocks it back in. It's almost put into the back of the net by Blacktown. But a passage of play there, which was ended by Gonzalez, which pretty much just sums up Blacktown City's day. Just haven't really been good enough against this Wollongong side that if you had any doubts about their premiership credentials, you might have to second guess that now. Their 6th win of the season, 3 draws. They go to 22 goals for the season. So averaging more than 2 goals a game. Inching towards an average of 2.5 goals a game, in fact. And stoutly defensive as well. All-round good performance that Luke Wilkshire will be delighted with for his troops. Passfield drives this upfield. With not much long left in this 2 minutes of stoppage time. In fact, that's it there. So full time in round 9 of the NPL New South Wales, and the Wollongong Wolves have crunched a victory on Sunday afternoon. They have destroyed Blacktown City by the tune of 4 goals to nil. A brilliant defensive performance, a brilliant attacking performance, highlighted by Thomas James, who bagged a double. He scored 2 goals on 30 minutes and 61 minutes. Taylor McDonald then lashed one home on 64, and Nick Littler completed the route with a nice right-footed, elevated finish, which scores the 4th and final goal for the Wollongong Wolves. They record their 6th victory of the season. They are undefeated in 9. They go to 21 points and restore their lead at the top of the NPL New South Wales to 4 points over the RPL Leichhardt Tigers. Meanwhile, the Blacktown City side will have some soul-searching to do at training throughout the week. They'd conceded just 7 goals coming into this game, but were thoroughly outclassed in every facet, losing by 4 goals to nil for their 4th defeat of the season, as they will attempt to pick up and dust themselves off in coming weeks to try and push towards playoff positions. It's been a pleasure to bring you all this live and exclusive action of the NPL New South Wales Round 9. Don't forget, Rockdale City and Manly United is live now. You can watch that on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel or the NPL New South Wales Facebook page, and also later tonight, Hakoah Sydney City East FC travel to City United at 5 o'clock against City United at the City United Sports Centre. They will also be on both YouTube and Facebook. Hope you have enjoyed the coverage. This is Jack Clifton signing off, and we'll see you next time.